Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of In the Kitchen with me, Osno Fly. And today I'm going to be making some chicken stir fry. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how to do that next. Alright, now for this recipe, you'll be needing a few items. What I like to use in my stir fry is some garlic, some red and green bell peppers, and I also like to use onions as well. Either the yellow one or the white one. But unfortunately, I don't have no onions. I ran out of onions and I wasn't able to go to the store. So I'm just going to make do with what I got. So I'll just use a little bit of extra garlic. I usually use 3 garlic cloves when I make my chicken stir fry. And what I'm using today is two chicken breasts chopped up into cubes. Same thing with the bell peppers. And then you can go ahead and mince your garlic. I like to leave the garlic after I mince it. I like to let it sit out for about 5 minutes. It brings out the aroma of the garlic. And we're also going to be making some rice along with the stir fry, some Spanish rice. The way that you make that is you go ahead and put a little bit of olive oil into the pan and fry up the rice real quick. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and show you guys before we get started. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do first is we're going to go ahead and make the rice. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get a pot of boiling water. Get it nice to where it's at a rolling boil, and then we're going to go ahead and put the rice in there as soon as we go ahead and fry it up. Like I told you, we are going to make some Spanish rice, and normally I would use some onions when I'm making the Spanish rice, when I'm frying it in the pan before I put it into the boiling water. But since I don't have any onions, I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of garlic so I can infuse the rice with that garlic flavor. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Make sure that the pan is at a medium heat. Okay, now after we put the olive oil in there, you want to go ahead and just kind of give it a little swirl. Make sure that the non-stick pan is nice and coated. And once you do that, since I'm not eating for just one person, I'm eating for a couple people. What you want to go ahead and do, normally what you would do for just yourself or for you and another person, you would go half a cup of Spanish rice. But like I said, I'm feeding more than just myself, so you want to go ahead and go with a full cup. And normally what you want to do is you want to go ahead and throw the garlic in there first after you put some olive oil in there to get it nice and just to get it nice and fried up. So you want to go ahead and do is just kind of you want to go ahead and stir the rice and let it get a little fried to where it starts turning a tad bit brown. And once it's done turning a tad bit brown, then you can go ahead and put it into the boiling water. Now when you're doing that, you have to be careful because the water will tend to want to overflow out of the pot, so just be careful when you're putting it into the pot. I would recommend that you take the boiling water off of the stove when you do this and over a sink, just as to, in case something does happen, it spills into the sink and all over your floor or your stove. Now while I'm waiting for that to get fried up, what you want to do now is you want to go ahead and get a tomato chicken flavored bouillon cube, and you want to go ahead and throw it in the pot of boiling water. And what that's going to do is it's going to create that nice little red tint that Spanish rice is known for having. So after that bouillon cube breaks down, then we're going to go ahead and put the Spanish rice in there. Alrighty, once you got the rice nice and browned up, what you want to go ahead and do now is you want to go ahead and put it into the pot of boiling water. Now what you want to do is you want to be careful, okay? Like I said before, it's going to want to boil over. So what you want to do is just go ahead and be real careful like that. And as you can tell how it's bubbling, you want to make sure you get it all in there. There you go. Now after you get all the rice in there, what you want to go ahead and do is you want to go ahead and put a lid on it and bring the temperature down to the lowest setting that you can go, and let it simmer for about 10, maybe 15 minutes. Try not to take the lid off of it. You want to use that steam to go ahead and make that rice. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and bring it down to a low setting. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on there. And I'm going to go ahead and start the timer for 10 minutes. And we're going to go ahead and let that go. Okay, now we're going to start preparing the chicken for the stir fry. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead once again into a non-stick pan. You want to put just a little bit of olive oil in there. You go ahead and put a little bit of olive oil in there and make sure to kind of swish it around a little bit. Now, we don't want a lot of olive oil in there because we're not trying to fry the chicken. What we're trying to do is we want the olive oil so we can go ahead and throw the garlic in there and get the garlic going. Bring the aroma and let that garlic infuse into the pan. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm putting the garlic in there. Like I said, you usually want to do about anywhere from 2 to 3 garlic cloves. Like I said, I like to do 3 garlic cloves myself personally. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and let that in there for about a minute. Just kind of swishing it around. Let that whole pan get nice and coated. Yeah, that. So what I want to do now is after we go ahead and do that, is you want to go ahead and grab the chicken. And then you want to go ahead and put the chicken into the pan. Get yourself a nice wooden spoon if you don't already have one. Or you can use a stainless steel one. I prefer the wooden spoon personally. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and get that chicken in there. And let that infuse with the garlic. So at this point right now, I like to put some salt and pepper into my chicken. Now I'll leave that up to you as far as how much salt and pepper you want to put into your stir fry. Me personally, I like to put a couple of pinches, not too much. And get some pepper. Throw some pepper. Same thing with the pepper. You know, you just put it to your liking. Me, I like my stuff with some pepper on there, with a little bit of kick. So yeah, like I said, we'll go ahead and put that on there. And after you do that, just go ahead and put the lid. Let's go ahead and put the lid on the chicken, and let it just kind of let it sit there for about, about 5 minutes. Then come back, give it a nice little turn real quick until the chicken is no longer pink, until it's white. Once it starts to turn white, what you want to do then is we want to go ahead and add the vegetables. Once we get to that part, I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. Okay, now that we got the chicken all nice and nice and white, so you can tell it's no more pink. What I want to go ahead and do now is I want to go ahead and turn down the flame, not too low, but just like a medium low. And at this point of the video, we're going to go ahead and add our vegetables. So here come the bell peppers. What you want to go ahead and do is just add all that Mother Nature's goodness. Look at that. Oh, looks so good. What you want to go ahead and do is just get that in there. Kind of just put it over the chicken. Don't mix it in yet. Put it over the chicken. And then what you want to go ahead and do is just go ahead and throw the lid on there for about 5 minutes. Let those vegetables get just a little bit soft. And then we'll go ahead and mix it into the chicken. And then after that, we'll let it sit for a few more minutes longer on a low medium heat. And yeah. Okay, now so what we can do now is just go ahead and just go ahead and give the stir fry a nice little stir. Get all those veggies mixed into the chicken. Now, if you'll be able to notice that that there is water in the stir fry at this point. Now that's because of the chicken. What it does is it releases moisture, and what you want is just go ahead and leave that in there. That's actually good. So the juices, after you stir the veggies in, it mixes in with the veggies, gets them just a little bit soggy, and infuses all that natural, nice goodness together. So what you want to do at this point is that if your chicken is done, just go ahead and get a couple of little chunks and open them up if you want. But you can tell that the chicken is done, and at this point, you can go ahead and put the lid back on there, leave it on for a few more minutes, for another 5 minutes, and then you can go ahead and serve it up. And at that point, you still have the nice little crunchiness in the bell peppers. What I like to do is I like for the veggies to get a little bit softer. That's just my preference. But like I said, at this point, the stir fry is pretty much done. Like I said, just make sure the chicken is nice and cooked. And once it's cooked, then you should be good to go. So when it's all said and done, this is the awesome dish that you're left with. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, watching the video. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more like this, feel free to hit the like button. If you have any recipes that you want to see me attempt to try to make, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and have a great day. Enjoy.